A lot of us don't even want to think about it. But the contract negotiated just a few years ago is about to expire, and now the actors union, SAG, and the Hollywood producers have now started their negotiations again for the next round of contract talks.
Oh boy.
That will hopefully this time not end up in another strike. This comes to us from Variety, whose headline does read, SAG-AFTRA begins studio talks amid media blackout. SAG-AFTRA is beginning to bargain with the major studios on Monday as it looks to improve on AI and streaming residual terms won during the 2023 strike. As is customary, the union and the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers are observing a media blackout so as to avoid negotiating in public, which is exactly the way it should be.
Yes.
Both sides should keep their bloody mouths shut. Don't talk in front of the cameras or their microphones. And if you are asked a question, say conversations are ongoing and leave it at that. Anyway, so I'm glad they're doing that. The talks typically begin with an exchange of proposals and then several days of study. On Saturday, the SAG-AFTRA National Board met and unanimously approved the union's proposal package. Before formulating the proposals, the union held several weeks of wages and working conditions meetings to solicit members' views. SAG-AFTRA President Sam Austin, also spent the last few months talking with members about the decline in jobs and other issues. All right. Now look, there is no question that there are absolutely some big issues on the table. Important issues to the producers, important issues to the actors union that they need to hash through and they need to come to some understanding and some agreement. But Rob, I think they also both have to understand that this is Matthew Broderick's War Games. This is mutually assured destruction. The industry, and I don't believe this is hyperbole at all. The industry cannot survive another strike right now. I'm not saying the industry can't survive another strike ever. I'm saying the industry cannot survive another strike right now. The last strikes that were both the writers and the actors, coming on the heels of the pandemic, nearly put a permanent tombstone on the industry. And they are still just kind of barely recovering from that.
Yeah.
And I think both sides have to understand going in. Like, if you were the Hollywood studios, Rob, and I was the actors union, I'm thinking we're both walking in the door and stop and saying, like, we know we're coming to an agreement, right? Like, one way or the other, we're coming to an agreement. Like, we can't, neither of us can survive another 2-month, 3-month, 4-month production work stoppage when just in the last couple of months, Rob, just the last couple of months, have we finally been starting to see the recovery that they've been hoping for so long. And we've got this terrific 2026 sitting in front of us. It would be absolute incompetent lunacy for these two sides not to come to agreement. Again, I'm not downplaying the fact that, as mentioned in the article, there are some important issues they need to get resolved. Absolutely. But both of them have to understand that pushing the nuclear button and having another work stoppage right now would be catastrophic. And I don't like using that word much, but it would be catastrophic. So I think both sides, Rob, from what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding, both sides are going in with a good amount of optimism that they're going to be able to hammer something out, even if they have to make a lot of terms temporary and seasonal and whatever until they get to the next round of negotiations in a couple of years from now. That's all fine too. But Rob, I suspect they all know this. I think they're going to come to an agreement. I don't think we're going to have to wait until November to find out that they struck such an agreement, because they both know neither side can afford a work stoppage right now. We want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mando. Hey guys, I may be married now, but I remember the whole checklist we'd all go through before a first date, right? Fresh haircut, clean car, maybe you're replaying a conversation in your head like, don't screw this up. But the one thing that is absolutely non-negotiable: deodorant. And that's why for a while now, I've been using Mando. What I love most is how confident it makes me feel knowing odor is just handled, like not masked, handled. Mando is a whole body deodorant, so you can use it anywhere. Pits, feet, thighs, wherever you need it. And yeah, that peace of mind is real. My personal favorite is the solid stick. It's super easy to use, goes on clean, and it just works all day. It's created by a doctor, and it's clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours, which is wild. Some guys try to cover odor with scent. Mando men get the job done right. Don't mask it, Mando it. You can find Mando at major retailers, but for the best deal, head to shopmando.com. For limited time, new customers get 20% off site-wide plus free shipping when you use my code Campea at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com, code Campea. Support the show and check them out. Mando's got you covered. Anyway, Rob, you hearing what both sides are saying right now? The negotiations have started. What are you taking away from this?
Well, look, first of all, as you pointed out, they did a great job by keeping a lid on it.
Yeah.
But there are things happening that I've noticed. For instance, my audio drama, True Noir, drops everywhere on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. And I was positing that, actors they could provide, if you wanted to do voiceover for say you're making a YouTube video and you wanted to use an actor's voice, actors could set up individually or have a brokerage do it, an agency do it, where they could allow their voices to be utilized. You pay a licensing fee. And I'm like, actors are going to be doing that with their likenesses. Like if you wanted, say, George Clooney to star in your commercial, you could probably get an AI license where you could get, Clooney would have approval, but you'll be able to download his AI avatar to use. There is so much technology that is coming down the road. And my fear is that SAG-AFTRA, which is these and the Writers Guild too, are very slow to adapt to change. I don't want to see them get caught up in arguing against technology that they have no control over. And I don't want to see them, I'm always on the side of the actors getting paid what they deserve and getting the residuals they deserve because they haven't been. And that's a real problem. But I also think that these negotiations, I fear, could spin out of control over the issue of AI. And in a way, rightfully so. But in another way, this is a tipping point. I think this is a real tipping point. It's going to be interesting to see how these go, because look at Los Angeles. It's a devastated city. Production has left the city. And I don't want to see the whole industry implode. But this could do that. Do we want if we have a protracted strike, it will push studios and other people into using AI in ways they weren't going to, but they would anyway. Because, well, if you can't rely on SAG to help you out, what's going to happen in the future? And I think we're at a precipice. I don't know where it's going to go, but people have to be careful. These negotiations are crucial for the future of our industry.
How do you see it going? What do you think the studios are pushing for? What do you think the actors are pushing for here?
Well, look, I think the traditional modes that actors got paid, especially and this has been an issue with television shows. Television shows used to be paid for by advertising. And if a show was successful, like Friends, everybody got rich. But now, of course, with these streaming series, which is what everybody's watching, even though people are going to ad tiers, it comes down to, well, how much are we going to get paid? The problem is, because you only get paid once, it means the upfront costs of making movies and TV shows go way, 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 way up. Because as we all know, and we've talked about it a million times, TV shows don't make money on streaming platforms. And yet, if you have huge upfront costs, it's really difficult to justify things getting made. And, everyone wants to, it's no longer, hello, Netflix, you're greenlit. That world has gone away because they were spending so much money. We can't sustain that. So what I worry about is how are you going to compensate actors for shows like, say, Stranger Things? I just saw Nicole Kidman's show, Scarpetta, a trailer for Scarpetta, where she plays the detective from the novels, the series of novels. I look at Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman as pioneers, because Reese Witherspoon started her own book club, and then she was buying the rights to do books and getting those books so she would own them and then turning them into these TV shows that she's been making. I mean, she's incredible. That took incredible foresight. And she's an actress. She casts herself in some. She produces others. I just think the world is changing. And I don't know if SAG is ready to handle what's going to happen. And I think that I don't know, but SAG has the power to once again bring a halt to the entire industry, which we do not, as you pointed out, need. So I am trepidatious about what's happening. I mean, maybe I'll go and make more audio dramas because I pay my actors, and we pay them well. People got well paid on True Noir. I don't know, John. I'm scared. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, I'm one of these people that I believe that actors get paid far too much at the top and not enough at the bottom. Like all the movie stars you list off. Like I'm sorry, somebody shouldn't get paid more for 6 weeks of work than a guy who does spinal surgery and helped a guy in a motorcycle accident walk again. While at the same time, other day actors are barely clearing minimum wage.
Yeah.
I've had some amongst my actor friends I don't share the popular opinion on residuals. I don't believe actors should get residuals unless it's a negotiated part of your contract to take a lower fee up front, because any job you do at home, if you leave your job, they don't continue to pay you.
Well, but the difference is that the work that was done continues to generate income. So
what? I mean, I've used this analogy before. I'll use it again. If I was opening a restaurant and I hire a local contractor to make my chairs in my restaurant, I can't make money unless my customers can come in and sit down in a chair and use that chair where I can serve them and all that kind of stuff. I don't continue to pay that. I pay that contractor hopefully well for their work and pay them for the items provided and exchange for their time and effort. But I don't pay them a $5 residual for every customer that comes in and sits in their chair, henceforth in memorandum. And by the way, out of the thousands of people who work on movies, actors often work the least
of
on
course.
these movies. So like my question's always been, well, wait a minute, if an actor's supposed to continue to get paid for all this kind of stuff and they did less work than say the set designer who was there for 14 hours every day during the entire production to make sure everything on
and they don't get
looked
residuals.
Right. They don't get residuals. So like I've always been kind of torn about how that should work. But
my only pushback on that is I don't care what the chairmaker looks like, but there's only certain roles for certain actors because they have to fit a certain look, and then it's just like.
But this in Hollywood, there's still 100 other actors they could have picked to put in that role instead.
Sure.
I mean, that's the thing. And so I don't know why we deify, honestly, and I know this is weird coming from a guy who does a movie show. I don't know why we worship actors and why we deify actors and put them above everybody else. But again, my main thing is in all these contracts, when you get all these other actors who don't have the big famous names, who put in just as much work I'm not saying they should get paid as much as a George Clooney, but getting paid like 1/40th of what George Clooney gets paid. I mean, those people got to get paid more.
Exactly. If you're going to take away the residual, it's sort of like if you're going to take away tips from waiters and waitresses, and you better be paying them like a lot more per hour than you do. So so the scale for actors, it needs to come way up.
I agree. At least those in the bottom half of
that's
it,
what I mean.
Those at the top. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we could devolve this into a whole 2-hour-long conversation about this. But the question is for you. What do you think about this? Quite with a lot of relief, we're hearing that the negotiations have already started and both sides have agreed we're not going to do this in front of the cameras. We're going to maintain radio silence and only talk to each other and get this deal done. That makes me very hopeful because I really just don't think the industry can survive another hit right now. Whatever you guys think about that, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.